everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Bonus
Booze. So, we've recorded this already, technically. Just like many other things that you'll probably hear us say that about.
Yeah.
However, it's pretty early in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We drank pretty heavily last night while recording an episode. We're not up for what we did last night when we recorded our bonus booze episode, which was we had some bonus booze.
Yeah, and then we found out a little too late.
Oh yeah.
Well, first of all, we got new mics. If you can't tell by our nice, smooth sounding voices,
Sultry.
because we're in the future and we have new equipment now.
We got fancy, guys.
Yeah, but with that was a little trial and error, and well, long story short, it just sounded like one of us was in an echo chamber or like somewhere else in history.
I sounded very ethereal throughout I think we actually like added up the hours last night. It was like 4 hours of recording before we realized that
Lena
I was
a ghost.
an echoey ghost.
So we had to do some double takes. So here we are.
Yes, here we are. So instead of traditional bonus booze like we will be doing when we actually record bonus booze the first time correctly, we have a non-adult beverage.
Something I've certainly never had before.
So I'm an unhealthy human being most of the time when it comes to the amount of carbonated, caffeinated beverages that I intake. I drink a lot of soda, and one of my favorite things to do with soda is make chocolate cokes, like my mama used to make me.
I've never heard of this before.
I grew up on it, so this is, and she said that she grew up on it, so maybe it's like a Jersey thing. I don't know. But you take Hershey's chocolate syrup and you swirl it around your glass and line it and make it look all pretty before you pour in a Coke.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to feel about it at first because that's just an odd combination to me, but it's like not bad.
It's quite delicious. It's like a little dessert in your glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a nice little pick-me-up after last night.
Yeah.
And now that we have 2 separate mics, we don't have to worry about our breath.
Yeah, I would feel really bad if you had to deal with my morning breath, especially after eggs and Coke.
Eggs and Coke, man. Breakfast of champions.
So, with that, we wanted to read some of your stories as kind of like a little bonus episode, instead of like at the end of episodes right now, because we are a new show, so we don't really have like a lot of people sending in stories right now. So we decided to just make a little bonus episode in between our 2-parter.
Yeah.
And read some of the stories that we did get sent in.
Yeah, so I will go first. Our first bonus booze comes from Christopher.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Nice to meet you. Chris writes in, I have 2 bonus boos for you from family. First one is about UFOs. My father, when he was younger in the 80s, remembers walking home from a friend's house and looking up in the sky. There were 3 small disc-like lights following him almost like they were watching him. Thinking back on it now, they sounded like some unidentified drones, but this was the 80s outside of Philly, so it's not like what you'd expect today. He ran home and noticed that they were above him the whole time. Once he got home, he looked up again and they were gone. He said it was a cloudy day, so it's not like he saw stars or something like that.
That's spooky.
That is spooky because, like, if you hear a story like that nowadays, you're like, oh, well, some asshole kid had a fucking drone, man.
Yeah, but this is the 70s, and something like that isn't even, like, fathomable.
No, that definitely sounds spooky and not fun.
Especially if it was, like, a cloudy day. It sounds like it was very low, too.
It had to have been.
It wouldn't be, like, a plane or something.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
That's very odd. All right. The other story may be something you're interested in. My grandfather during World War II was in the Navy in the Pacific. He told me that the Navy would often let them go swimming in the ocean to cool down when stationed there somewhere. While in the water, he saw a creature in the water. As he describes it, he said it had the head of a fish like a tuna with sharp teeth and a long tentacle-like body like a jellyfish.
Ew.
It freaked him out so much that he never got back in the water for the remainder of his service. He spent his whole life trying to look up every strange sea life he could find and never found it. I thought it may be an oarfish, but he claims it wasn't. He is no longer around to find it out, sadly, so it may remain a mystery.
Someone called Jeremy Wade. We have a river monster on our hands.
A sea monster. So we talked about this last night.
Yes.
I fully believe that because we have searched more of space than we have our own fucking oceans, that if we give it another 10 years, we'll know what this fish is.
100%. And especially with like climate change and all that stuff, the environment for the sea life is changing. So we're starting to see new species. So it wouldn't surprise me if we start to see like some really otherworldly creatures.
Yeah, because you figure like there were creatures that like 15, 20 years ago we thought were just myth, like giant squids.
Yes.
And they're not. They're real. They are popping up all over the fucking blue right now.
Yeah.
But, and long story is I believe Megalodon is real still.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find Megalodon very soon, I think.
Oh yeah.
He's out there.
I've watched enough Shark Week to know that Megalodon is totally real. Totes real.
And that's why I don't go in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer a nice, safe desert.
I like the beach. I like to go on the beach and I like to walk in the sand and collect my seashells. But I do not let the water touch me for two reasons. Because one, people and fish do unspeakable things in that water.
Gross.
Very gross. And two, we don't know enough about what the fuck's in it. I'm not about to jump in there.
No way.
No.
If I can't see past my ankles, forget about it. I'm out.
Yeah, maybe it's just that I don't like big bodies of water, period. Like, I don't like swimming.
No.
I like my bathtub.
Even like...
That's about it.
That's about as much body of water as I'll handle.
Yeah.
Like, even swimming pools as a kid would freak me out. Cause,
Same.
like, my grandma, she had this huge in-ground swimming pool that would go down to like 8 feet.
I remember. We went swimming, yeah.
Yeah, so you remember. So I wonder, do you remember the big vacuum that she had in there sometimes?
Was that a vacuum?
Yeah.
Oh,
she
I
called
hated
it the Barracuda.
Yeah, I remember that. That I remember. I remember it being called the Barracuda.
That thing used to scare the absolute shit out of me.
No.
And so I carry that to other open bodies of water.
Mm-hmm. At the camp that I worked at over the summer, their deep end was like deep. It was like deeper than 8 feet. I think it was like at certain points. I think it actually went down to 12 feet. It might have. Like, I don't know for sure because, again, I don't like swimming, so I only ever went in the deep end like a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you how that is the deepest in water I have ever been, and I had never been so fucking terrified. Because, like, when you're in a 6-foot pool, you figure I'm 5'3" ish.
Yeah, that's not super deep.
It's not super deep because I can just jump up and I'm at the top. You could not do that here. It was terrifying.
Yeah, 8 feet is enough for me too, because then it starts to get dark and I can't see what's at the bottom of the swimming pool. What if there's a shark down there?
Mm-hmm.
That was my irrational fear as a child.
See, you feared sharks. I feared, like, dead frogs. Or Band-Aids, or...
Oh, I see. Mine is definitely rooted in realism.
Mine is rooted in, I don't like germs. All right, what is your story?
So, my story comes from Shelby. Thank you, Shelby.
Thanks, Shelby.
So, Shelby says, we took a trip to McElwee Road in New Jersey. It's in Morristown, New Jersey. About an hour and a half-ish in the Cherry Hill area, and we were stupid teenagers. It was our thing to go out and ghost hunt when we were bored. Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, many times.
At some point, somebody had told us about this weird, mysterious place in New Jersey, so we took a trip out there, and the first time there wasn't a whole lot going on, but it was really the second time that we took the trip that kind of was a little bit more serious. So basically, the rumored story of McElwee Road in New Jersey.
How do you spell McElwee? Because I'm looking it up.
So I think it's MC Elwee.
Ooh, that came up pretty
Oh, yeah, it
quickly.
came up instantly. Ghost story.
All right, so
Yeah,
it's in Moorestown.
how far is that from us?
Not far. I think I actually know where this might be. Hold on. Yeah, so this is actually like really close.
We should visit it
It's
someday.
it's literally like if you cross the bridge in Kensington in Philly,
Oh,
it looks like it might be a 30-minute trip.
that's not bad at all.
No.
Yeah, and I'd never heard of this story prior to this.
So like on the map showing the cursor, not actually saying it. So this is like the area my family's from. I'm curious to see if like my cousins know anything about this and have tried.
Maybe.
I want to like reach out and try and ask.
Yeah, I'd like to ask around and see if anyone else has experiences like this.
Yeah. So all right, but what's Shelby's experience?
So basically, the rumored story of McElwee Road in New Jersey is there, at one point, was a very wealthy family, the McElweys, that lived there and built this huge mansion, and it was the father, the mom, and their 7-year-old. And mom eventually got pregnant with the second child, but the child died during pregnancy, and basically the mom kind of lost her mind and blamed her firstborn and took him down the road to this little lake pond situation, and they drowned him, or she drowned him there. And then went back to the house and hung herself. So the father, in his craziness, basically lost it, tore down the whole estate, bulldozed everything, and then I can't remember if he ended up killing himself as well or if he just left the area, but their graves were, rumor has it, unmarked.
Oh gosh.
So their bodies were lost in the destruction of the house, so it was kind of a sad story, and the road was named after them. So we were like, all right, let's take this trip out there, see what's going on. And we drive out there. And when we first turn onto the road, there are these mega mansions, huge houses. I mean, these driveways have statues of lions and fountains in them.
That just sounds like every Italian family's house in Jersey. I'm not gonna lie.
Sounds very Italian. And so we were like, this is probably a waste of our time. And there were very specific there were very specific instructions on the site that was doing the research. So it said to go down the road until the last street light on the right-hand side, pull up about 100 feet from the car, stop, turn the car off. So we were driving down this road, kind of losing interest with all these mansions, and just kept driving. And this is back when people still had GPS up on their windshields, so we're looking on the GPS, and on the left-hand side of the road, we see this little lake, and we're like, okay, maybe we're onto something. So we keep driving, we find the last street light on the right, pull up, stop, and it goes from a rich-looking street, very wealthy, to absolutely nothing. I mean, if we didn't know better, we were in the middle of the sticks. There were no houses, no lights on the road, no lights. The road was like crappy, damn near dirt road, and we were like, this is very strange. So nothing's really happening. We didn't stay very long. We didn't have a whole lot of time, and we ended up leaving. And my friends, a couple weeks later, were like, maybe we missed a step or something. Let's try again. Let's go back. So we drive out to do the same thing, do the same steps, and we needed a little bit more time. So once we got back to the spot and the car was off, we were sitting there in the dead silence in the middle of the night. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we started hearing these dogs. And there were houses a good while back, but these dogs couldn't have been more than 50 feet away from the car. And then we start hearing these owls and birds, and it was like the entire area, all the animals in the area just lit up, but we couldn't see any animals. There was nothing. And then all of a sudden, we see this kind of light, kind of like a lighthouse scans back and forth. And mind you, to our right, there's a huge open field. There's nothing there, and there's this light that's just scanning back and forth over the field. So we thought maybe it's a neighbor, and they saw us park, and they have a flashlight, and we don't want the cops called on us.
As you do. Yeah.
But it was too constant, and didn't look like somebody looking around. Just very uniform and very consistent. So we're looking out in this field waiting for something to happen, and one of my friends is like, hey, we should go out and go into the field. And I was like, I don't know, that's probably a bad idea.
It is a bad idea. This is why in horror movies you would die. You stay in the car, you roll the fucking windows up, and you lock the door.
Let's go look at this ethereal light in the distance in the dead of night.
Let's not say we did. You guys can fucking go. I'll stay in the car. I'll call 911 when your fucking bodies vanish from thin air.
Bye.
Like, no. Bye-bye.
So she says, I'm looking into the tree line on the far end of the field, and I can see what looks like a campfire. It was kind of flickering, but it was far enough away that it didn't immediately catch my eye. And I pointed it out to my friends to see if anyone else saw it, and I thought maybe someone was back there. Keep in mind, the friends I'm with are these big, burly, tough guy dudes who are like, I'm not afraid of anything.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, one of my friends screams, what the fuck? And everyone just goes silent, and we look out, and the light that was flickering is no longer flickering. It was just still.
I don't like that.
So we sat in the car for a couple minutes. I guess whatever it was eventually got bored. And I'm sitting here watching this thing, and I'm thinking about the story that we read going into this, and how the dad couldn't find the bodies because the estate was destroyed. And I'm thinking a lot of the stories you read on the internet is you look down the road and you see the little boy coming back from the pond. He's drenched and he's drowned. But to me, this thing looked like something digging. And the flickering wasn't a flame. It was the entity bending down to dig, pulling back up, bending down to dig, and back up. So I'm thinking, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this was the father searching for his family. I don't think it was malicious or meant any harm. I think he was just looking for his wife and kids, and at this point the light disappeared, the dog stopped, the bird stopped. It was like it all started up, it happened, and then it was gone within 5 minutes. We stuck around for a bit, but nothing happened after that.
See, alright, so this story went from being like a little bit spooky to sad.
So sad.
So sad.
He's just looking for his family.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone did end up finding the bodies eventually, or if they just didn't bother disturbing the land.
I mean, if they, like, I don't know if they have, but knowing, like, if you're going to develop on land that hasn't been developed on in a while, that you have to perform some form of excavation to discover what you're building on or digging up.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone ever wants to build there, they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will find them eventually if they do plan to build there, but...
And this is saying that lore is real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's spooky, though. Like, oh.
Okay, she has one more.
Oh, okay. Yay.
It's a bit of a shorter one.
The bonus boo.
Double boo. So, the most insane thing that's ever happened was a Ouija board experience.
Mm-mm.
No.
We don't mess with that shit.
She says, I was actually messing around with my little brother, and him and his friends were having a little sleepover, so I thought, let's see if I can break out the Ouija board and scare the kids.
As you do.
Yes.
I mean, maybe not with the Ouija board, but, like, scare the kids. All for it.
So they're doing their thing, I'm playing along and lit some candles, and at one point we were all in my bedroom, and I had an alarm clock that was plugged into the wall. But my mom worked from home, so she would always wake us up, so there was never a need to set the alarm. We never had batteries in the alarms. It was just literally a glorified clock.
Cool.
At one point at 8 or 9 at night, we were doing the Ouija board, and all of a sudden the alarm starts blaring, the loudest I've ever heard an alarm blare. And I was like, that's weird. There isn't an alarm set for 8 or 9 at night. Why is this happening? I get up, push the alarm button, it doesn't turn off. I'm switching on and off, and it doesn't turn off. It's just blaring ridiculously. So my brother says, you're messing with us, take the batteries out, you're messing with us. And I said, okay. And I take the back off of the alarm clock, and there were no batteries in it. So I said, what the fuck is going on? Ripped the plug out of the wall, thinking it was some sort of electrical thing, and it didn't turn off.
Nope.
It just went up 4 frequencies.
It's all nopes.
So instead of a regular alarm clock, it was a continuous screeching, and I ended up having to throw it against a wall and smash it to bits before it would stop, and that was the last time I played with a Ouija board.
Well, I'm glad you learned your lesson, but it also sounds like you didn't say goodbye.
Oh no.
From your story. So
I'm laughing because I'm nervous.
I know, like it's. I think my last story is actually about a Ouija board as well.
Fuck. Okay. Lay it on me.
All right. So this final bonus booze comes from Dan and Nina.
Hi, Dan and Nina.
I'm not sure who the narrator is or who has written this to us, Dan or Nina, but we'll just say it's both of them.
Okay.
It was the summer of '96, or better referred to as the summer of hell. I couldn't help but to blame myself. After all, I've watched plenty of horror movies to know all the basic rules, but even then I ignored the most important one. Oh god.
Okay. Good setup.
Yeah.
I like the writing of this
Yeah.
one so far.
Whoever's written, he or she, Dan or Nina, whoever wrote this, is top notch writer. I was young and curious, so attracted to anything horror. I played with a spirit board by myself, and if that wasn't enough, I had chanted spells that I found in a spellbook written in another language.
Casual.
As you do.
There are dogs outside.
My neighbor's dogs are having a not okay time, from what it sounds like, actually. Someone's very upset. Frustrated at what I thought was a complete fail since nothing happened, I continued on with this dangerous combo. A few days had passed and things began to change. I started hearing strange sounds. For each night that went by, the evil entity became more aggressive. Some call it sleep paralysis, but I know it was an evil force holding me captive. I can hear the growling in my ear and the voices as it whispers to me, calling out my name. I was terrified. I fought so hard to have just enough courage to open my eyes, and then fear would strike again when I would witness with my own eyes a hooded shadow figure by my bed and shadow figures darting in and out of the walls while calling my name.
Nope.
It was getting worse. I can now feel it touching me. It actually touched my foot.
Oh my god.
It wouldn't let me sleep, and it was as if it was getting stronger. I was so scared, and knowing it was my fault, I didn't want to tell anybody, especially my father. All of my family had warned me about tampering with the spirit board. I no longer felt safe in my own home, and every chance I got, I tried to go somewhere else, hoping that this thing wouldn't follow me.
Oh my god.
I distinctly remember several occasions where the evil had followed me. My aunt has asked me to stay with her and her family during the week to babysit my little cousin while she worked. I had fallen asleep. Something had disturbed my sleep. I opened my eyes to the light above me flickering on and off. I immediately left the bedroom and fell asleep on the couch for the rest of the night. Another night, I had experienced the same thing. But this time as I left the room, I heard whispering coming from my cousin's bedroom, which was located right next to the living room. Confused and terrified, I started to wonder if it was my cousin that I had been babysitting, only to find out later that day that he was asleep with his parents in his parents' room the entire night. I knew I had to dispose of the board, and when I did, I heard a voice later that night say, "I will come back."
Jesus Christ.
Eventually, we moved, and I began to feel safe again. The activity still happens from time to time. I realized later that this thing wasn't a part of the house. I summoned it, and it is attached to me. I thought I was losing my mind until one day my older cousin had visited. She also is a believer who has had her own personal experiences. We were exchanging stories of strange events, and she distinctly said she heard heavy breathing coming from upstairs. We both looked at each other, and she noticed my dog turn towards the direction of the stairs, and she heard it too. She had lived there prior to me and stated she's never heard that during the time of residency there.
Oh my god.
So Dan and Nina, it sounds like y'all fucked up a little bit there.
Oh no.
And if again, we've never played with Ouija boards.
No, I refuse.
No.
At this point.
But one of the things I do know is that if you always have to say goodbye and
Right.
end the session.
Because otherwise you're basically leaving a door open.
And if you get rid of the door,
Where are they
aka
gonna go?
the board, you can't get rid of it.
At least not easily.
No. So
You either need to be blessed or, dare I say, have another session and close that portal.
I got you, Booze.
Keep us updated on that though.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh man. No. See though, now that we sit and talk about it, I am shocked that you and I have never broken out a Ouija board.
As am I with like how fascinated we are with this stuff.
It would be so on brand for us to have fucked with Ouija boards.
And like, God, I am curious as all hell, but like, I really don't want anything following me, or I don't want anything in my house. Like, the risk versus reward
doesn't balance out for you.
No.
Well, like, here's the other thing is like, where would we do it? Because we've both stated that if we ever were to do it, we wouldn't do it where we sleep.
No. If we were to do it, I would say somewhere that's already haunted, or like somewhere outside. Nowhere near where I live.
No. Like, I feel like it would be one of those, like, ooh, I know where we could go.
Where?
So, there is a little Revolutionary War memorial site.
Okay.
In East Coventry on Ellis Woods Road.
Okay. So.
And it's a memorial site because I think that they did find like either remains or they found evidence of the Revolutionary Army having been there.
Okay.
Because you figure it also, Ellis Woods, like in that area, we're not far from Valley Forge.
Yeah.
So it's totally realistic if you like look at the path that the army traveled during Valley Forge around that time. They went through East Coventry, North Coventry.
Oh yeah.
Pottstown area.
For sure.
But like we could go there.
Yeah, probably a nice little hot spot there.
Yeah.
Easy for probably to just leave something there so they don't follow us back.
Yeah, and just be like, don't follow me.
But yeah, maybe we can do that closer to like Halloween or something.
Ooh, that could be our Halloween bonus booze.
Our Halloween
Oh shit, did we just like figure out what we're gonna do for Halloween?
Oh, maybe.
Is we're gonna get a Ouija board?
Very practical.
I don't know about you, but like I wouldn't bring it home.
No. I would say we do the session or whatever and then just either leave it there or throw it away.
Yeah. Oh man.
This is a good idea, guys. This is a really good idea.
Now here's the question. Do we do it at night or during the day?
It would have to be at least closer to dusk.
Is that like a rule of the Ouija board?
No, I just so apparently the veil is a little bit thinner at night.
Well, yeah. That's why we would do it during the day.
Low risk.
Low risk.
Yeah, we can try. We can try during the day. Seems a little safer.
I think it's much safer.
Okay.
Just, I don't know about you, but as curious as I am, I'm also a huge wimp.
Oh, yeah.
Because especially, like, think of it this way. I'm a big wimp. But when I do something that I'm scared of, and then I realize it's not scary, I want to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's how I feel about ghost hunting sometimes. When I went to the Zach Bagans Museum, like, before we went in for the ghost hunt, I was so terrified. Like, my stomach was, like, in knots.
Mm-hmm.
I had scaredy farts. I'm like,
no.
Josh, I don't know if I can do this. But, like, once we got in there, I was, like, really okay and actually, like, curious and okay with, like, going through these super dark rooms with only my flashlight.
Nice. Well, and see, like, I did a zip line at camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm terrified of heights. But they were like, show the kids it's safe. We have to have like a staff member test it out anyways before the kids get on. So I was like, okay.
God.
Got up there easily enough. But then like when I was like hooked in the harness and like I had to just like sit down and like go. I was like, oh fuck no, man.
I can't do this.
Can't do this shit at all. I was like doing prayers in my head, like not kid, but the staff member who was up there with me was like, you good? I'm like, no. But then I did it and I loved it. And I was like, I'm going to do it again.
It's all about taking a big leap of faith.
Exactly. But my issue with this is...
right into the portals of hell.
Yeah. My issue is we would do it like the first time during the day and it wouldn't, nothing bad would happen.
Okay.
So we would be like, we got this.
I see your logic.
We would do it at like 3 a.m.
I understand.
Candles lit with like...
all in.
all in.
Oh, God.
Just invite demons in. That is what would happen for us.
Hey demons, it's me, your boy. But yeah, we'll definitely try to do that. And if anyone has like suggestions on what they want us to do for Halloween, we'll record it and do something cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, send us in more stories. We want to read more shit. I like reading spooky stories.
I like reading spooky stories that come from people who like potentially we know.
Yeah.
I think all of the people who wrote in, like, you know them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, to me, that's awesome. So, anyone that we know,
yes,
send in spooky stories.
Yes.
I wanna know.
Right.
I wanna know.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Well, enjoy the next half of Eastern State. Shit gets ridiculous.
We got a little too drunk.
A little bit.
And I haven't even listened to the edited version of it. It's just from what I remember of us recording. Because we recorded, what, like 4 hours of content? And that entire time we were drinking.
It was a little tough to edit it down to like an hour and a half. I think I have it at.
Oh, it's an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was a good one. It was a fun time.
It was fun. I had fun with that one. That was where we made we've made rules.
Yeah.
For us, drinking rules for us doing the podcast.
Yep, we have new rules now. So if you want to hop in on that, like, by all means.
Yeah. As long as you're not driving or listening to us, like, at school or work, join us for all of our new fun rules. Follow along. You'll need a shot glass.
Yeah.
Maybe one that doesn't leak.
Yeah, maybe one that doesn't leak. Oh my god.
Well, until next time, stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
We gotta figure out a way to sign off, man.
We need a better outro. Bye.
Bye, guys.